Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. How is everyone? Hope that everyone is well. Today we are going to learn the topic that is shown to you on the screen, and that is USB, Universal Serial Bus. How many of us have heard this term before? Is this term familiar? Have you all heard this term before? Yes or no? Okay, we have heard about it. Fine. What comes to your mind when you hear this term? Okay, the one that we carry for data transmission. No, not at all. Be clear that when we say USB, we mean the port. And this is what we are going to learn. And after today, you're not only going to use it in the right way, but you will tell others also that what is actually USB. Okay, I'm expecting that you will be helping out others also as far as USB explanation is concerned. First thing is USB stands for Universal Serial Bus. By the way, the very first thing that you need to know is, since the word serial itself is there, it means it is a form of serial transmission. By the way, how many of us can recall this term serial and parallel? We have studied it. Again, the same chapter number 2, yes. Okay, now may I have the responses from your end quickly? What is serial transmission? Great. Serial transmission means data is transmitted one bit at a time over a single wire, over a single channel. If you remember, this is what we have already learned. And on the contrary, we talk about the term parallel also. Although this is not a part of this USB, but still you need to know the difference between the two, serial and parallel. Okay, serial is one bit at a time over a single wire. So in USB, what happens is it's a form of serial transmission. Second thing, what you need to know, it is the most common type of input and output port. And by the way, what is a port? In reality, what is a port? Like we have airport, we have seaport. So what is a port actually? The place where different things are going to be, can say, are going to be present. For example, airport, all the air traffic is going to be present there. Similarly, seaport, all the sea transport will be there. Similarly, here, port means the place to which you are going to connect the different devices. And okay, now assume that I have bought a new printer or I'm using mouse. What I will do is I will connect the port. I will connect my printer to the USB port. And what happens? The basic thing is, the moment I connect it to the USB port, the device is automatically detected and the device drivers will be installed automatically. I can work on it easily. Now, USB allows both half duplex and full duplex data transmission. By the way, do we remember this term duplex? Okay, fine. Along with duplex, we have talked about simplex also. That's great. So duplex means, wonderful, Ali. Duplex means two-way. And if you recall, duplex means two-way, but in this case, we are going to categorize them into two, that is half duplex and full duplex. Half duplex, what is it? Can you recall what is half duplex? Yes, that's great. Half duplex is two-way but not simultaneous. Example. Yes, that's great. Walkie-talkie. And on the contrary, full duplex means it's two-way and simultaneous, as is the case with your broadband internet connection. So I hope that you know these terms. You should be knowing these terms for your other questions also, because we may get questions regarding serial and parallel. We may get questions regarding half duplex and full duplex, and can say simplex also. I hope that you remember. What is simplex, by the way? Simplex is one way. That's great. For example, computer to printer. And what else? Loudspeakers, that's wonderful. So I hope that you remember. But if you have any questions, any queries, and you can either ask here, or later you may go through the videos that are available on this topic of serial and parallel transmission, and simplex duplex, which is half and full duplex, also available there. So please go through it if you have any query. Moving on to what is it composed of? The USB cable is composed of 4 wired, and these 4 wired are shielded. And I hope that you know, by the way, what is the meaning of the word shielding? Shielding is there to protect, exactly. So we have 4 wires, and out of these 2 wires are used for power, which are red and black, and the other 2 wires, which are white and green, are used for actual data transmission. Let me also show it to you with the help of the diagram. Also, as you can see, the USB cable is shielded, and then we have 4 wires coming out of it, and which are shown to you. The ones that are for data are white and green, and the ones that are for you can say power, they are mentioned as red and black. Any questions before I proceed? USB serial transmission. And that is what you can even mention the example of serial transmission. If they ask you, then you can simply mention USB as the serial transmission. Now, what happens when I am connecting? The way I said, I'm connecting my printer, or I'm connecting my mouse. So what happens? What is going to happen immediately? Now you can see the moment I'm connecting a device to the USB port, the computer is going to automatically detect the device. It does not go here and there, it does not ask for anything. It immediately detects the device, and this is because of a small change in the voltage that is happening there. Since the device is detected, it will be recognized, and the appropriate device driver will be loaded. By the way, do you remember what is device driver? I mean, this is what we have to study also. The chapters of software is going to deal with this in detail, but let me tell you, device driver is a program, is software that is needed to make the device work. So if the device driver is not there, the device will never be able to work. So the appropriate device driver will be installed automatically, it will be loaded, and the computer can start, so that the computer and device can start their communication, they can start their work. So that will be done automatically. The work will be done because of the device driver. Now, in case that, for example, if a new device is detected, computer will look and it will install. But in case it's not available, it may happen that maybe the device is can say is the latest model, and the device driver is not present in my can say in my computer system. In that case, what will happen? The user will be asked to download the appropriate device driver software. Although in some situations, the device driver is automatically installed from the internet also, but sometimes the user is going to be prompted that you have to install the device driver so that it can start the work properly. Now, this is what you need to know. The moment a device is connected, is plugged into a computer through the USB port, this is what is going to happen. See, so easy for us, isn't it? We don't have to do anything. The computer is going to do our work. Software is going to do my work, and it will be installed automatically. What are the benefits? What are the advantages? That's very important that you need to know what are the benefits of using USB. The first one, the moment you are connecting the devices are installed, are plugged, are can say detected automatically, and the work is going to be done immediately. I mean, you don't have to take any action. You don't have to worry at all. The work will be done automatically. And that is one of the biggest advantages or benefits of USB. Connections fit only one way. And because of this, it is going to prevent incorrect connections. I mean, you must have seen that even if you put the, I mean, first of all, it does not happen. If you try to connect it in the other way around, it never fits in. And that is, one of the few benefits of USB. Since it has become the industry standard, nowadays you can see that we have the USB ports everywhere. So since it is an industry standard, that is why we may be getting a lot of support in future right now. And that is, again, a very big advantage, a very big benefit of using USB. It can support different data transmission rates. And you can see it can support transmission rates from 1.5 megabits per second to 5 Gbps, which is gigabits per second. Be careful. Small b represents bits and capital B represents byte. So that is why you can see 1.5 megabits per second to 5 gigabits per second is the transmission rate that is supported by the USB. A very big value, I hope, so that we all can see that it's quite a huge value. Once you talk about the USB, another advantage is there's no need for external power source, since the cable itself is going to supply plus 5 watts of power. So you don't have to worry and you don't have to go for any external power source. It is available because of the use of USB. USB protocol notifies the transmitter to retransmit the data if any errors are detected. This leads to error-free data transmission. By the way, can you recall the term serial we talked about? And serial is basically one of the biggest advantages that we talked about, that was serial was, you can say, more secure as compared to parallel transmission. And that is why you can see here, the same is mentioned here also, that USB protocol is going to notify the transmitter, the one who is transmitting, to retransmit in case it has detected any errors, and that is going to result in an error-free transmission, which is the actual requirement of transmission. We want the transmission to be error-free. We want it to be received properly by the receiver. Either that is all clear. Any questions? It is relatively easy to add more USB ports if necessary by using USB hubs. Now, this is also a very good, a very big benefit. That if for example, I want to use more USB ports, don't worry, I can add more ports by using the USB hubs. Backward compatibility means that older versions are still supported. And that is, again, a very big advantage of using USB, that you are using it as a backward compatible. It can be supporting the older versions as well. Any questions? Okay, that's great. Now we are moving on to the drawbacks. See, everything has its own pros and cons. So let's talk about what are the drawbacks, or what are the limitations of using a USB. Standard USB only supports maximum cable length of 5 meters. Beyond that, USB hubs are needed to extend the cable length. That is a limitation, that is a drawback of USB, that it is working to a certain cable length, and that is of 5 meters. And if you want to go beyond, then you need to use USB hub. Even though it's backward compatible, but talking about the earlier versions, like version 1, may not be supported by the latest computers. I mean, definitely the ones that are can say built nowadays, they may not be able to support the older versions, which is version 1, but the latest versions are definitely supported by the USB. The latest version 3 and latest version 4, even the latest version 3, which is version 3, and version 4, which is V4, USB systems, C systems have a data transfer rate which is slow compared to, for example, Ethernet. And you can see, although fine, we talk about that its transmission is good, but if we compare, like a student can say, Miss, what about Ethernet? Ethernet connections are also there. Anyone else can also talk about the same. So you can see all the Ethernet connections are there, and this is what you're going to study inshallah in A levels. What is Ethernet? So they are still slower as compared to Ethernet connections. Ethernet connections are faster. So these are the discussion regarding the benefits and the drawbacks. The first one is cable length is limited, that is 5 meters. Second one is not backward, like it is backward compatible, fine, but not for the earlier versions. And thirdly, although we talked about the versions which are like version 3 and version 4, still when we talk with respect to The Ethernet still, they are slower. The transmission is not very, very fast if I compare it with the Ethernet connections. Are we all clear? Okay, how the questions can come in the paper. You may be asked about the drawbacks and benefits of USB. You may be asked to define, maybe a one mark question or a 2 mark question can come in the paper regarding the definition. So what you need to do is you have to define it properly, you have to explain it properly, and then you will be asked about the drawbacks and the benefits. So please do mention them. For example, if 2 mark question is there, it means that you have to write down 2 valid points. And if there are 2 drawbacks to be written, then you have to write down 2 valid drawbacks. Be very cautious so that you are going to score your efficiently. Now, the next thing is USB-C. What is USB-C cable and why is it popular? A new type of USB connector, which is USB-C, is becoming more common, and its advantage is it's a 24-pin symmetrical connector, which means it will fit into a USB-C port either way around. So this is what the problem of the USB is going to be, can say, handled here, that it is going to fit into the port either way around. It's much more smaller and thinner than older USB connectors, and it's offering 100 watts, which is 220 volts of power connectivity. And it means that it can actually, which means full-size devices can now be charged and it can carry data at 10 gigabits per second. See, it's such a huge value that you can see here. And because of this, it can now support the 4K video delivery. Now, this is, I mean, USB-C cable is quite nowadays discussed by the students even. They sometimes talk about the term USB-C. So this is what the advantage is. It is smaller, thinner than the older connectors, and it's offering more power. You can see, and because of this, it's going to be, and beside this, the data transmission is also faster. That is till 10 gigabits per second. And because of these benefits, you can see that it can now support 4K video delivery. Any questions? USB-C is backward compatible to USB 2.0 and 3.0, and it is going to provided a suitable adapter is being used and is expected to become the new industry standard format in future. And this is what they are thinking, that maybe in future, this is going to become the industry standard. So I hope that you all are clear. Question, maybe a 1 mark question can come in the paper regarding asking you a 24-pin symmetrical connector, which means it will which can fit either way around. So then you have to mention USB-C. But be careful, maybe a USB connection that can support 10 gigabits per second, that can carry data at 10 gigabits per second. So you should be immediately answering USB-C. The questions can come in any manner. You need to prepare the topic very well, so that you are able to understand each and everything well. Okay, Jazakallah khairan kaseera for being a part of the learning journey. If you have liked my videos, please share it with your friends and family. Click on the bell icon so that you are able to get the updates of the videos which are coming. And the next topic, inshallah, will be dealing with the calculation of file sizes. And besides this, you can also watch the videos regarding error detection and serial and parallel transmission. Allah Hafiz. Take very good care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.